We are told that diplomacy builds friendships, strengthens relations, and prevents wars. But does history really support that claim? Or does diplomacy become important only when national interests are at risk? If diplomacy is truly meant to protect peace, then why do serious negotiations often begin only after thousands of innocent lives have already been lost? Dear listeners, diplomacy means building good relations between countries. It helps nations protect their national interests, strengthen cooperation, improve trade, and solve their dispute through dialogue instead of violence. Unfortunately, history shows that many leaders choose dialogue only after conflict has already begun. The Second World War is one of the strongest examples of this reality. More than 70 million people lost their lives. The destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki shocked the world. In the result, in 1945, the United Nations was established with one clear purpose: to maintain international peace, prevent future wars, and encourage countries to solve their problems through diplomacy instead of violence. History gave the world another chance during the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. Between United States and Soviet Union, the world stood on the edge of nuclear war, but both sides stepped back through negotiation. That crisis proved that diplomacy is most successful when it prevents war instead of ending one. Dear Mr. President, even today, the Russia-Ukraine war and the recent tensions in the Middle East remind us that the history is still repeating the same lesson. Conflicts begin, innocent people suffer, lives are lost, and only then does the world start talking about ceasefires and peace negotiations. There is another reality we can't ignore. Every country naturally protects its own national interest. That is a part of international politics. But should diplomacy become important only when those interests are threatened? By then, ordinary people have already suffered for decisions they never made. Wars may be claimed by governments, but their consequences are carried by innocent families. Even today, in my opinion, the real failure is not diplomacy itself, but the real failure is that we often use diplomacy too late. Our leaders should keep the doors of dialogue open before armies march, before missiles are launched, and innocent lives are lost. A successful negotiation can save more lives than years of fighting. Mr. President, in the end, I would like to say that Mr. President, people often say that history repeats itself, but I believe that history keeps teaching the same lesson again and again, but we keep ignoring it. If we truly want a peaceful future, we should give the first priority to the diplomacy instead of last. The greatest achievement of diplomacy is not ending a war after thousands have died. It is preventing that war from ever beginning. Thanks for listening.